I was getting ready to attend a ridiculously fancy dinner with my parents. My scalp hurt since Mom made me wear my hair in a really tight bun, and my long, stupid dress was covered with so many sequins I felt like scratching my skin off. Remember, you are to speak softly, chew quietly, and only take small, ladylike bites. And when you talk, don't use words like, literally, hashtag. It makes you sound stupid. They continued giving me etiquette instructions like police officers. And as always, their harsh tone made me nervous. When we entered the restaurant, things took a turn. I noticed this boy at the dinner table, and he just wouldn't stop staring at me. He was cute, sure, but when he immediately sat down next to me, I felt uncomfortable. Wait, I'll introduce myself first. I'm Noelle from Utah, and I have the meanest and strictest parents ever. You'd think coming from a rich family of socialites would be fun, but for me, it's the opposite. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. I tried to change seats, but everyone was already settled, so I politely asked Mom to switch with me. No, I want you to get to know that boy. Your father and I were hoping you two could get married in a couple of years. Of course, you wouldn't be allowed to actually date him until college, but he comes from a very impressive family. Throughout the dinner, I learned the boy's name was Graham, and his aunt was an important politician. My parents fawned over him, and I thought he was plain boring. So I texted my BFF Star to come and help me get out of this. A half hour later, Star ran inside, shrieking, "Noelle, come help me! I just got bitten by a poisonous spider!" I can call you an ambulance. Don't tell me how to handle my spider bite, jerk! With that, Star yanked my arm and led me outside. I couldn't stop thanking her for rescuing me, but Star looked annoyed. You better be thanking me. I interrupted my date with Thornton for this. You are so freaking needy sometimes. I looked over to see Star's new boyfriend waiting for us in a car. He and Star had only gone out on one date, but he was already smitten with her. My parents wouldn't even let me have a boyfriend till college. And as usual, I felt jealous of Star. In fact, I've been jealous of her ever since we met in preschool. She was prettier than me, she had more friends, and even though we both loved to sing, Star had the voice of an angel, while I couldn't carry a tune. She also had the world's sweetest parents. They didn't make much money, but they loved Star to bits. At least I had my mansion to keep me happy, but it was all I had. One day, I was doing my homework when Mom came in and said Star was waiting for me downstairs. She says she needs to talk to you urgently, but I told her she has 2 minutes tops. I'm sick of her popping by all the time. Her poisonous spider outburst cost us that important dinner. I was relieved Mom didn't blame me for that, but when I met Star at the door, my mood changed. I just came by to tell you that I won't be able to hang out for a while. Okay, how come? Because I just got a record deal. Some music producer heard my songs on YouTube and he wants to sign me. So I'm gonna be really busy recording my album and meeting fellow pop stars. Wow, if you think about it, I'm living your dream. So don't call or text me these coming weeks. I felt like I'd been slapped in the face 10 times. I told Star I was happy for her, but I didn't really mean it. For the next few weeks, I went with my parents to more dinners and parties while feeling bored out of my mind. And then one morning, things took a crazy turn. I got a phone call from Star's dad, who said he had horrible news. Star had gone missing. I immediately drove to her house, where Star's parents showed me the note she had left. "Don't come after me." I kept checking in with her parents over the next few days, but the police hadn't made much progress. Then one day, he called me over and told me something strange. Noelle, listen carefully. Nobody can know that Star is missing. She just got a recording contract, and we can't afford to lose the money from that. What are you talking about? Your freaking daughter is missing and you're thinking about her music contract? That's just demented. Everyone in town should be on the lookout for Star. Star's dad assured me that he'd hire a private search team to look for her, but in the meantime, he still needed the money from her recording contract. You see the way we live, honey? The three of us share a one-room apartment. This contract could change our lives. That's why we need you to pretend to be Star. She doesn't start recording for a couple of weeks, and we should find her by then. You just need to make a few public appearances. And don't worry, we're telling the school that she's transferring. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was about to tell them no way, but they both started to cry and told me that this was for the best. So I finally gave in. The first step was my disguise. On my way home, I bought a wig and colored contacts. Luckily, Star and I had a very similar build and facial structure, so hopefully the disguise would be enough. Star's parents also lent me her clothes and schedule. And step 2 was making sure my parents wouldn't know about my secret appointments. So I told them I was joining the physics club, which would have practices every day after school. And thankfully, they bought it. Thank God that was out of the way. Now it was time for my first appointment as Star. I was supposed to meet her new boyfriend Thornton at a restaurant. I waited nervously as Thornton approached me. I'd never been on a date before, and it didn't help that Thornton looked like a Greek god.
Star, is that you? You look different. Like, your face is bonier than I remember, and your nose is way longer.
Okay, that's enough. My face doesn't look any different, babe. You probably just don't remember it that well since we've only met twice.
You're probably right. My bad. I'll make it up to you by ordering you some tea, sweet cheeks. You sound like you have a cold.
Did he just insult my voice? Throughout the date, I discovered that even though Thornton was attractive, he was also the most annoying chatterbox on earth. He especially wouldn't shut up about this YouTube channel he liked called My Story Animated.
MSA is so dope. I literally watch it all the time. Oh, did you know they're also on TikTok? Because
TikTok is really bad for your attention span. I'd suggest you watch MSA on YouTube. It's probably better quality. By the end of our day, I felt like I needed a 10-year nap. Then as we were walking, Thornton pulled me close to him and kissed me. My stomach exploded with butterflies.
You are something else, babe. I already feel like I'm in love.
I was too shaken to speak as he walked away. I felt horrible for kissing my best friend's boyfriend. He'd totally taken me by surprise. Next time, I'd have to tell him I had a mouth sore or something. For the next few days, I met with the music producers, made appearances, and went over my recording schedule. I was still worried about Star, but I secretly loved living her life. One afternoon, I went to a cafe to change out of Star's disguise, but as I was taking off my wig, I saw someone watching me. I screamed when I realized it was Graham.
Noelle, is that you? Why are you wearing a disguise?
What the heck are you doing in here?
I think you're in the boys' bathroom. Seriously, why are you in disguise? And why are you wearing a necklace that says STAR?
Oh, crud. I was gonna have to tell him, or he'd probably report me to my parents. So I told Graham everything, but begged him to keep his mouth shut, and he surprisingly agreed.
You're in a difficult situation, but don't worry. I'll help you get out of this as soon as possible. We can even do our own secret search for your friend.
I didn't exactly want to go on any secret mission with him, but he looked like an excited puppy, and I didn't want to get on his bad side. So when nobody was home, the two of us snuck into their apartment one night to see if Star had left any clues. We didn't have much luck until I bumped my elbow against a painting and it fell down. To my horror, I saw a taped picture of me behind the painting. Star had drawn a mustache on me and wrote a note at the bottom. I hate this ugly, worthless, spoiled witch. She's only good for her credit cards and the food she feeds me at her 4-story palace. Good thing she didn't notice the money I stole from her wallet. I then saw several $100 bills taped to the poster. I felt numb with rage. All these years, Star had just liked me for my money? She is such a snake. I have literally never done anything to her.
I know. We're gonna find Star and confront her.
I don't want to look for her anymore. Leave that to her search team.
But aren't you worried about her safety?
I didn't answer him. I just went home and felt my anger bubble like lava. If Star didn't want her perfect life, then I was more than happy to take over. That week, I made friends with 3 different celebrities, bought lunch for her parents, and went out every single night with Thornton. And even though he was the most obnoxious guy on earth, I made sure to kiss him as much as possible. One night, I decided for the first time in my life to stay past my curfew. And when I arrived home, my parents were ballistic.
Physics club, my butt. You young lady are up to something else. I wasn't born yesterday.
Obviously, I'm not at any physics club. I'm just enjoying my life for once, like any normal teenager. I'm turning 18 next month, and I'm not gonna let you run my life anymore. Mom and Dad screamed at me and threatened to ground me for a month, but I wouldn't let them. Finally, I went to bed, and I felt a weight lifted off my chest, like I was a new person. The next day, Graham called me several times, but I didn't answer. I didn't know him anything. Then finally, he showed up at my house.
Noelle, I know you're mad at Star, but I found something about her the night you ran out. She left a clue on her balcony.
How many times do I have to tell you? She's not my problem anymore.
So you just don't care at all what's happened to her? Are you some kind of sociopath? You don't even know if she's alive. You know what? I don't even think you're mad about the stuff she did to you. You want to steal Star's life from her. I bet a part of you even wishes she's missing for good.
Graham stormed out before I could answer. I decided to take a walk, but I couldn't get his words out of my head. Deep down, I knew they were true, even though I was too ashamed to admit it. I stopped by Star's place on the way to check for the clue Graham told me about, but when I arrived, I saw hundreds of people and reporters there, and Star's parents were in tears. Some boy told your parents about Star being missing, and now it's all over the news.
And we're in trouble because we asked you to disguise yourself as Star. The company took away her recording contract, Noelle. We told you not to tell anyone about this.
I felt horrible as everyone crowded Star's parents, blaming them for everything that had happened. Then suddenly, I remembered that Star had left a clue on the balcony. I slipped inside the apartment, and on the balcony, I saw an empty fish tank with a note inside, "Fish out of water." On the back was a drawing of a mountain with a crown on top of it. And then it hit me. Star was at a famous Utah park called Kings Peak, and she'd circled the top of the mountain in red marker. I immediately told the police, and they said they'd give me a ride so I could help find her. But unfortunately, Thornton insisted on tagging along. Could this day get any worse?
Man, I can't believe I was dating you this whole time. I knew something was a little off, 'cause I pick up on things quickly, not to brag, but man, that was evil what you did to Star. I mean, sure, you kiss way better than her, but
thank God I don't have to deal with this anymore. It took us 3 days to hike to the top of the mountain, and when we arrived, Star was lying down peacefully, but when she saw us, she jumped. You found me! I didn't expect anyone to find me! Well, I saw your clue inside that fish tank, so I solved your riddle. Wow, congratulations! You're almost as smart as you are selfish. I saw pictures on Instagram of you making out with my boyfriend, you witch! At that second, Star slapped me across the face and tackled me to the ground.
oh, cat fight, baby.
Shut up already, Thornton. You are literally the most annoying person ever. I only dated you for revenge anyway. I pulled Star aside so I could talk to her alone, and I told her everything that had happened, how her parents forced me to be her, and how I discovered the money and poster behind the painting, which was the only reason I'd gone out with Thornton. He really is such a pain, and he's so freaking obsessed with me too. Look, I'm sorry about the stuff I wrote about you and that I stole your money. The truth is, I've always been jealous of you. Your fancy life was just handed to you on a gold platter, and I always had to share a bed with my parents and eat stale food every day. Wow, you were jealous of me? I never would have expected that. Star, I am so sorry. I've been so blinded by my own problems that I never even thought of giving you money for bed or fresh food. It's okay. I would have gotten it from that stupid recording contract anyway. To my shock, Star had told me it was her parents that got her the contract and she'd never wanted it. It was just too many work hours and pressure from having to support her family. That's why I ran away. I left that clue hoping my parents would get the message and find me to apologize. But it was you, Noelle. I know we've both done awful things to each other, but can we maybe start over? I hugged Star tight and told her I'd convince my parents to buy her family a house and everything else they needed. But the best part of all, Star finally dumped stupid Thornton on the ride back home. While he was pouting, I got a phone call from Graham, who actually apologized.
I shouldn't have lashed out at you the way that I did, and I definitely went too far by exposing you.
Actually, I'm glad you did it. It was for the best, and what you told me was true. I realized how selfish I'd been, and now Star and I made up. So, thank you.
Okay, I won't bother you again. I mean, the only reason we even met is because your parents forced us to meet, and even though I think you're cute, you don't owe me anything.
I know, but you've grown on me. How about we meet for dinner? I promise this time we won't invite my parents.